Hey there, welcome back. So today I have a very interesting topic. I've seen this year more than before, it has been very obvious that a lot of people were trying to live more healthy. And usually what people do oftentimes is, for example, the 40 days before Easter, because it's like a tradition to be more healthy or change one of the habits, for example, to eat less sweets or to eat less meat or, for example, to leave out alcohol. I have a very particular view on this. One thing is to leave out something, and one thing is to find a way to be in balance and enjoy things that you like. For example, you can just say, okay, you just leave out all the sweets, but what is bad about sometimes eating like dark chocolate? Because chocolate tastes good. There is something about the idea of balance that really, really interests me and that I find makes life easier, makes life more enjoyable, and really highlights this aspect of being kind to yourself and not taking away your pleasures, because in the end, life is very colorful and those pleasures really make it more beautiful, more colorful. So, for example, now coming back to the idea of this year, what I notice a lot of people doing is dry January. And to me, it's fantastic that people want to be more healthy. What I see though is that once January is over, what happens afterwards? And the whole point of balance is missing. So I find it more sustainable and more interesting for people if they are able to find a balance between, for example, there is a tradition, a knowledge, a craft, a beauty, for example, in winemaking. There's a lot of things you can taste, you can discover all the different flavors around how to grow something, how nature works, all those things. Why, you don't have to just completely leave it out if that is something that you enjoy and that is very valuable to you and it's part of your life. So this is a little bit like where my practice comes in. And my practice is really about well-being, about mindfulness, about finding what works for you, finding what is like your specialty, how do you work, what interests you, all those things, to get to know yourself better and to find a way that is sustainable for you, in balance, that you can flourish and that you're happy in a way with the things that you love. So that's kind of why I created the retreats for the senses. It's a retreat that really speaks to all the senses, because it's a really big part of mindfulness, is to use your senses, see what you can notice, how do things make you feel, what is enjoyable, where do you find the joy, where do you find the pleasure, where do you find the sense of feeling good. And the retreats for the senses really goes through a lot of different aspects. So we do have like a meditation practice, a movement practice, which really is a fantastic way to connect to yourself, a fantastic way to experience, to have like the focus on awareness and mindfulness in like the classic sense that a lot of people know, why they go to yoga, why they go to meditation class, why they do Tai Chi, all those things. But the practice is only as valuable as much as you can apply it to your daily life. So if you only go to your 1 hour practice and then you go back out into your daily life, and this practice had basically no effect on your daily life, what is the good in that? To just have this isolated practice. So what I wanted to do with my retreats for the senses really is to put focus on all the aspects of life. For example, food, drinking, art and culture, like the whole interhuman relations, like all the things that you also will meet in your daily life, going out to socialize. What are the things that are included with that? And mindfulness really starts with just noticing, being aware. And this is why the retreats for the senses, the title also is really about creating an experience, creating awareness. So for example, if you go and drink wine, and instead of just drinking a lot, what happens if you notice around the flavors? How does it make you feel? How does it taste? What happens in between? How do you communicate with other people? All those things are really, really valuable. And the retreats for the senses really offer you the opportunity to have 5 days where all those things are part of your mindfulness practice. So for example, when you go and eat, not only that we have fantastic, delicious, healthy food, but it's not like the healthy type of food that you would usually encounter, for example, where you have to eat only vegan or raw or, I don't know, no carbs or like something very extreme that you wouldn't do at home. But what happens is like the food that we have is very fine cuisine. It's homegrown. This is what makes really healthy. So it's homegrown, organic, and it's balanced, and it's really about you tasting it, tasting the difference between food that is really good, homegrown, freshly cooked, like even the bread, everything homegrown, like the crop, the like ancient wheat, corn, all those things. Tasting the difference, how does it make you feel, and enjoying the taste. So we're humans, and part of the beauty of our human lives is joy and pleasure. So a lot of things we do also out of joy and pleasure. We love to listen to music, we love to think about how to dress, we love to go out dancing with people, and all those pleasures are really important. So for example, if now coming back to the idea of dry January, after we did all this loop, what I like, for example, in my retreats is the aspect of wine tasting and learning about the wine and all those things, because it is making you more aware about all those nuances that are there, that are enjoyable, without just consuming. And consuming mindlessly or trying to like numb out feelings or things like this. So it's really about changing your habits, changing or making other choices that are nicer, kinder for yourself, and experiencing this joy of it rather than trying to numb something or hide something or things like that. So yeah, for me, as I said, balance is like a really big key to enjoying life, having a good life. And I like to teach people how to, instead of missing out on the things they like, missing out on the social occasions, missing out on health, finding a way to include all those things in a balanced way. And you can learn this with me, for example, in classes and workshops, but I think the retreats are really beautiful opportunity because they're 5 days more intensely focusing on the aspect of mindfulness, awareness, joy, and being able to learn something that you can take back home and apply, and not just have your bubble of retreat where you think you cleanse and detox and then come back into everything kind of the same that you did before. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this topic, and I hope that if you had a January where you had goals to change something, that you are able to find a balanced way to integrate those things into your daily life, because this is in the end what will create a change, is consistency. And you can only be consistent with things that work for you, work for your life, your personality, your character, your routines. So yeah, I would love to hear from you, and I will link the retreats down below for you to take a look at it. Thank you very much.